Into the 12.
Into the 12. And what the 8?
If you're using this with your Davidoff approach, go ahead, just play with this. We're recording this. That's great.
Well, I was trying to think that just about everything that was done earlier would be done now, except that when you put these out and you ask for length, it's just more obvious that you would focus probably on lining them up to compare, perhaps, than overlapping. Even the overlap. I don't know truly which would happen, but I can envision in my head kids doing this to show it versus this to show it. But in essence, kind of one and the same.
Just translating a second. So what I heard you say, the kids have multiple ways to compare in order.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
And so it could be put those in order, and then how do these compare?
Step 1.
I mean, pretty much the same. We put them in order, and then I need that, right? And how do these compare? Well, I mean, it turns out to be really interesting because this one is this much, whatever, longer or shorter, and conversely, this one is this much longer than this one. I mean, you just have wonderful opportunities of doing that before you numerize.
And then you're talking about confusion properties,
Right.
as well, without having the number. So
Does it matter if we flip it, so to model that?
Right. And this in visually is probably better than the diagram. If I would put the other piece over here, where here you almost programmed to think about this is the difference because this was the quantity. When you look here, you get to choose your quantity and compare. I can say, I want to look at these two, and when I do, this one is this much more than this. But if I want to look at this one as the focal point, then this one is this much more. Whereas here, you know,
this to me is a clear representation.
right. And
it's removed from the body.
Right.
And it's now a more independent
Right.
representation.
but it also reflects.
And
the
it also
body.
reflects. So remember when we did this, and we,
Well, then you have, God, who knows where this is a question, because mathematically it's a question. If this represents this,
yes,
which piece represents this?
Do you mean
I mean,
from here to here?
Yeah, whichever way you like to.
Or that, from here
Right.
to there.
Right.
Then we've bridged
Right.
the
We-
body
Right.
as the representation to the tool.
And we don't have the 9 in there. You can decide whether you like the 9 or not. What representation? Is that right?
Yep.
It would be the 9, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can form it from what you've got.
Well, you could,
Mhm.
and that would be a nice, right?
And in this, we don't have the 8.
Right.
Yeah.
And these pieces are lining up that this is the.
So to me, that's a nice set of activities.
Yeah. Because in there you.
Those is difficult because all that stuff is there. I mean, which question do you ask
Okay,
first? That's
okay.
what I meant in terms of ordering it. It's not.
Yeah.
Okay, I went literal.
Yeah, right, okay.
And that's why I got
Yeah.
puzzled.
I
because-
can see you were.
Right, now I understand.
Yeah. And because that's with all of these, and that's how we get off task in a certain sense, but how we formulate what we're thinking about in another. And I mean, with regard to that, to this, then you can come back to what does this represent? I don't know if there's an answer to it.
Well, there may not be, and there may be a point where we leave the body
Yeah. Yeah. And it could be,
But there you kind of started switching the operation.
Yep.
And we want them to do that. So if we're kind of co-drafting an activity now, the teacher note would be, look at how the kids work. Some will join, less will take away, but some will measure, and some will iterate a unit. So they're doing the multiplying and dividing, the adding and subtracting. And we want to come up and model that. Look at all the different
for the doubling, right, or halving, whichever way, this to this to this. 8 to 4 to 2, 12 to 6, 3 to 4 to 2.
Yeah.
We're using those as
Yeah. Same colors for the set, different colors.
I just have green.
No, but what's your, same colors, different colors?
Why don't you have this white color?
We can do that.
This activity is a little different in that, you know, we gave them a set and they worked with the comparisons. Sounds like in the strips there, we're really looking at more of, I mean, factors. That's not the word we want to use. We are.
But they don't know that.
But they don't know that, right. And so it is more of a racial, the way we just talked about a minute ago.
Yeah, it's in the other one too.
Yeah, it
It'll
is.
just develop, depending on what we produce for them.
Yeah. So it might be a reason to start with the area then, because I think the area, the way we looked at it yesterday, definitely was more accessible to students, I think.
I think this is.
This is accessible too,
Equally
but
accessible.
the way we take it, where we were taking this is saying, you know, and how are they related? So there's two of these that will go into this, or there's three of these that go into that, or, you know,
This is like a researchable.
yeah.
This is accessible early on.
Mm-hmm.
K1, 2, 2.
Oh, yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 3, 4, 5.
That's right, because as we're looking at their multiples and that sort of thing.
Yes, and how you
they-
frame it, where you take it. But the basic set. These are the fractions.
Yeah, these are the
strips.
fraction strips.
Yeah. So earlier, we may start with things like this, and then it build up to,
Right.
now let's make fractions. And then we come, so when you're talking about Lexi just
Right.
laid it
Right.
out, and you laid it out.
Yeah,
Where are we
that's
going?
it.
We're going
Yeah.
to factors. We're going
Yeah.
prime factorization.
Right.
We're going to division of fractions, but the beauty here, because it's non-numeric, your
Mhm.
division of whole numbers and fractions are virtually the same. So to me, that's the beauty of it.
But we could start in the same way as we did the area and saying, how do these compare, A is
I
greater than
believe
B and
so.
so.
I believe
But then you
so.
take it, you know, a little bit different.
My only question with the coloring, I would leave that up to teachers. I would prefer to make them in colors, because then the kids, oh, I messed up, you know. You could spend the whole
Taking a
period
day out of
on just
coloring.
coloring.
Mhm.
If the teacher so chose, if you want, you can do that.
Yeah, because best we would do, if you need more sets than what we have.
Here it is.
Here's a template.
What are your fraction strips? You have sets of fraction strips already, right?
Yeah, and.
And they're in 12s?
They're in 12s, and,
And
well, let's
probably-
put those out for the minute.
And probably